Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a part 3 to somewhat of a journey that I've been on with my son through him having eczema. I posted the first video about my experience with that, and then also following up with how that was doing and the food allergies we learned of. And so now I'm kind of following up where I left off, so I'll link the first 2 videos below if you want to watch those first, but let's get started. Okay, so my son is now 2.5, and he is allergic to eggs, peanuts, and as well sesame, which those are 3 major food allergies. And anyone with a food allergy or someone with a child who has one knows how scary it can be. It's a really difficult balance of not letting him grow up in a bubble, but yet keeping him safe and not being negligent. So many foods have that may contain, even if it's not actually an ingredient, it's not safe for me to give to him, from my allergist anyway. Maybe when he's an adult, he'll think differently, I'm not sure. But at this point, while he has major food allergies, I do not give him anything that contains or may contain any of his allergens. So cereal, that's a good snack for him. There's so many options because a lot of them are, advertised that they're peanut free, just like a lot of children's snacks, because the peanut allergy is so huge, that makes it a little easier on me. So many things have that peanut free symbol, but with using cereal, cookies, crackers, any basically processed foods, I have to read the ingredient list, and at least with cereal, we have a large selection that does not contain any of his allergens. Now, I will say I wouldn't say benefit, but to look on the bright side of food allergies, it really forces you to take a look at what you're eating. So many times he has a lot of fresh fruits or vegetables, like, cut up strawberries, oranges, apples, bananas, maybe some cucumbers, a little side of corn, the things that, don't involve basically an ingredient list. Now, he is little and he does like his treats, and I actually get happy for him when there is something safe I can give him. So Quaker is really good. I really like their products because so many of them don't have any of his allergens. Now, I guess it would be different if he had an allergy to dairy or soy. But to get into the major update with this video on why I feed my son, from the title, why I feed him eggs when he's allergic, has to do with this muffin. Okay, so he had tried an oral food challenge previously and it didn't go well. We didn't get to finish it. He was too young. They didn't want to be too aggressive to take any chances of anything happening, because you are basically consuming something you're allergic to in a controlled environment with obviously doctors. So this time we went back in January, just before he was 2.5, and they start off with a little pinch, and the crumbs get bigger and bigger to chunks, to quarters, and then eventually taking the last half of a muffin. And he successfully completed this oral food challenge, eating a muffin that contained a baked egg. Now, it's basically like a regular muffin recipe, 1 egg per dozen, and it's been baked, this recipe was about 23 minutes, so he isn't ready to try a cookie yet, because those are only baked for, usually 8 to 10 minutes, maybe 11, but the baking time of, 23 to a half hour, he can do. So I'm going to try to find some more recipes of different foods, because the idea is to keep a baked egg in his diet regularly, so he remains used to that. And then along the way, where I'm thinking maybe around summer when he goes and sees the allergist, he'll say whether or not he thinks he's ready to try baked cookies. And then from the next challenge after that, and I believe trying a hard-boiled egg is actually done at the hospital, like an oral food challenge, to try to do that again. But it's supposed to help him grow out of the egg allergy sooner. I think it's building his tolerance. From what I understand, There are proteins, several or a couple proteins in an egg, and one of them is destroyed during the baking process. It might actually be two, but he's clearly then allergic to the proteins that are destroyed in the baking process, because hence why he is able to eat this muffin. Now, it does leave me with a lot of questions where, my daughters wanted to buy a baked good in the store, and then I'm like, well, has this been baked long enough? I'm assuming so, but I'm not positive. So I have a little bit of my own research to do as well, but it's very uplifting, and I see a light at the end of the tunnel when stuff like this happens, because, you can get really down with all these food allergies, but then to have something like where watching him eat this muffin was terrifying, but at the same time, I was reassured by the doctors, and we took it step by step, and I'm thrilled that I give him a muffin a day now, and it's, doing him some good in the long run. So to wrap up this update, I will tell you where we're leaving things. So he still obviously has major food allergies, but at this point I will continue to feed him baked egg and keep that in his diet regularly, and then we will find out in the next few months whether he's ready to move on to cookies, which have the lower baking time, and if that's successful, then we'll arrange for him to try a hard-boiled egg, and at that time when we can officially say, he's grown out of this egg allergy, we will look into the peanut desensitization. But until then, there's really no rush. I thought about doing it around 3 years old, but we're kind of just going to work on this egg one first. And then they even said there is the possibility for sesame desensitization, something about using the sesame seed. So that's something that we could, explore in the future. So if you have food allergies, or a child with food allergies, or someone, there's so many different experiences people have. I'd love if anyone had any advice or something they could share in the comments that would help other people watching this video, because I know for myself there have been times that I've been really upset thinking about sending him to school in a year and a half, and the idea that he's not in my care and he has the exposure to so many dangers, and just, that's a whole different story. But at least for now, I'm feeling positive that this is moving in the right direction, and I hope you enjoyed the updated information. If you have, like I said, a similar experience, feel free to comment down below. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching who could either use a little encouragement or as well relate to an experience and maybe have some answers for you or some suggestions.